Hi, and welcome to the SparcStart TA Leader Series, where we talk to some of the leading individuals in TA who have interesting ideas to share and interesting questions to ask. Today, I'm delighted to have Shartia join us. Shartia, let me ask you to introduce yourself to the audience.
Yes. So my name is Shartia Huddleston, and I'm an HR manager of talent attraction with Atrium Health, which is part of Advocate Health, and we are one of the third largest nonprofit healthcare organizations.
Great. And you've got about 70,000 employees?
So we have about 70,000 employees in the Southeast region, which consists of Atrium Health Charlotte market, our Atrium Health Navicent and Floyd, which is our Georgia market. And then we also have Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, which is in Winston-Salem.
Wow. Well, and I think everybody understands how challenging it is to find healthcare employees. That you are in one of the toughest markets in that scale is just daunting. One of the things I'd love to ask you about is one of the things that you told me that you do is for your hard to fill roles, you have a real strategy to hyper focus on those. You're not treating all your roles the same. Undoubtedly, there are certain roles that are going to be in very high demand with very short applicant pools. Can you talk about what does hyper focus look like when you do that? What is your organization doing?
Yeah. So we identified our hard to fill opportunities by travel spend, age requisitions, and we carved them out of the mix and we hyper focused them by advertising them on Indeed, allocating, programmatic spend to them as well, placing a sourcing team in front of those requisitions to passively source candidate flow, to triage candidates that may not be looking for opportunity with us at the moment, but identify them and bring them in the fold to bring in new job seekers into the market to differentiate from the organic flow that we're seeing from our jobs that's being posted. We also have identified service lines that have been struggling with applicant flow and created a tier-based campaign where we create more digital marketing, ad marketing to expand exposure of what they're doing that's different from all organizations within, the nation. So, for example, like Levine Cancer, they have the proton therapy that a lot of, cancer centers may not be offering that. So we hyper focus on that treatment, that service line is offering and bring awareness to that we're offering that here in Charlotte at Levine Cancer Center. We also are training our executives on how to be ambassadors for the organization and share content on their personal social media profiles to get, connections with their connections to gain more exposures in regards to what we're offering here at Atrium Health.
We always talk to folks and say your employees are undoubtedly connected to folks with similar education, experience. You look at your own LinkedIn. I mean, in my case, I'm connected to TA people all over the place.
Yeah.
And we find technicians are connected to technicians, nurses are connected to other nurses. So when you say you're training people to really leverage that, what does that look like? What is it what is it you're training them and what is it you want them to do?
Yeah, so we're doing a road show. It's called Rock Your LinkedIn Profile. And it's the education we created to educate individuals how to maximize their profile preference on LinkedIn by first, making sure that they, have a professional photo, that their, job content is standing out, their title, that they have the correct employer advertised there, highlighting their strengths, what they do in the industry, and then also making sure they have connections or they're out there to connect with individuals. And then they're connecting with our career pages, our company pages, make sure they're following. So from a recruitment marketing standpoint, as we're sharing content from our company pages, they're resharing our content. And that's where it's going to have the trickle down effect to all the connections that they made as they're, connecting with individuals on Indeed, or not Indeed, on LinkedIn, I'm sorry, to be able to share, culture aspect of what we're doing here at Atrium Health along with the job aspect.
Yeah, I love the fact that you're having them really look at their own job descriptions and their job profiles because so often when I see people have employee ambassador programs or whatever, they're just asking people to share out, like, here's some content, please share this. But you've understood that a prospective employee is going to read through the person they're connected to see what they do. And what a great opportunity to put credible information in front of them. I think it's so important to be credible. And if it comes from somebody you know or somebody you're connected with, and they're saying, hey, I'm doing all of these things in my job, that's really powerful stuff when it comes to, gee, if that's included, is that part of the culture? Is that something I'd get to do if I worked there? So I love it. And are you getting pushback? Are people lining up? How's it going?
No pushback at all. Actually, the first group that we provided this education to was our Chief Nursing Officer, our SVP, Janice Walker, and her nursing team. So the top chief nurse executive, in our organization, and she got all of her CNOs on the call, and then they started bringing in their team as well to have this education. And from there, I started getting doctors and, then our recruitment team. So it's just been going on. And I actually have one scheduled in a couple of weeks with our home health team. But they're embracing, the value add that they're receiving. And some of them, they want to learn because they understand that, job seekers, they're out here on these social sites. They understand that LinkedIn is a professional platform to be able to network with individuals. And they're like, we want to help. What can we do? We want to help you just as much as you're helping us. So whatever we have to do, we're ready to get in there and go. So I think taking that approach by outlining the education to show every aspect of their profile, breaking it down and say, make sure this is updated, recognize yourself, recognize a fellow, employee, your colleague, about the, great work they've done, and then take it to the next level and say, and this is how you share the content that we're doing. Once they got comfortable with that, they're starting to share, and create their own content and then share it amongst the group. So it definitely was not any pushback. It was more embraced.
And particularly in healthcare, if you're not fully staffed, it makes your life harder. But that's true really almost for any organization. We all work better when we're surrounded by, fully staffed teams of really top-notch employees.
Yeah.
So I think if you position it right, and I love the fact you went to the head of nursing first, every time we've seen this done successfully, someone's found a senior business leader to be a champion who have said, look, this matters to us. If we're going to meet our goals, we need to be fully staffed, and here's what you can do to help to do that. It's absolutely the formula for success. But it's interesting you've got people creating content now. I know particularly in healthcare, everybody's so heebie-jeebie about data privacy. What if there's a patient in the background? Oh my God, we can't possibly have people create content.
Yeah.
Apparently you've determined that it is completely possible and you're doing it. So what kind of guidelines or training are you giving people? How are you getting them to create content?
Well, so the content that they're creating, some of that is shared in the LinkedIn education that we're doing, the Rock Your LinkedIn Profile education. But with them, just knowing the basic, we have guidelines in place. So a lot of it is just sharing, we tell them to share the culture of what your team is doing. So celebrating, milestones. We have the Daisy Award for nursing. When we, celebrate or recognize the specific months for healthcare workers, they're doing that. So that's some of the content that they're sharing. Or if they have a speaking engagement, they're making sure to get photos of that engagement and highlight what they've done there, or just anything, adding their own little post to something that maybe our corporate communication team has posted out. So that's the type of content that they're sharing. So they know, it's within the guidelines. So we've done a great job, I think, of educating over time in regards to these are some of the guidelines and things that you can do. And if they're not aware, they will ask someone. So we don't have, and they're also looking at other individual profiles. So Dr. Janice Walker, she's very, very active out on LinkedIn. So she's really, really trailblazing for a lot of the team, especially the nursing team, of different ideas of content that they can write. And they're, she's leading by example. And also Renella Edie, she's another leader. She is in nursing rehab that is always active on LinkedIn, and they really have it down packed. I mean, really have it down packed in regards to how to set the standard of creating content and pushing out, our culture and jobs for the organization.
Yeah, we've always seen that once you get momentum going, it really helps when people know what's expected of them. It makes such a difference, no matter
Yes.
what they're doing, whether it's just content or video or whatever. Once they've seen a couple of examples and they've seen it work, they'll jump in. If you've got a basically positive culture, people will, put that authentically into what they're doing. So,
Oh, yes.
Last question I've got to ask, and I've got to be careful not to go on here because I'd love to hear more about all of it. How are you measuring the results? How do you know that this is working?
Yeah, so we look at, from a recruitment marketing standpoint, we look at impressions. We look at applicant flow, so the standard shares. And then also the feedback that we get. So sometimes there's wins that we have that, especially with the sourcing team, by making connections on LinkedIn, by just sharing content, we know we're converting hires for RNs, with this concept. And I think when you have a great mix of not always just showing jobs, because, when you're going after critical roles, they get inundated with emails, in-mails, things, of those sorts. They want to see something that is going to speak to them. So that's why I started taking the role of showcasing more culture focused content to speak to the job seekers, to show what's in it for them, to show, what we're doing here different at Atrium Health. Also, too, another thing we have Atrium Health has talent. So we showcase that we're not only looking for individuals with their job talents, you also can come here with your personal talents. So we have a talent show, each year, and these individuals are awarded, and showcased for their, talents, whether it's singing, dancing, whatever
I
you want to
love it.
call it. It's a big deal here. So with us just showing that you can be your whole person, individual at Atrium Health, there's a little bit for everybody here. I think that is, sparking a lot of interest because of the variety of things. So we have a lot of things, a lot of things that we measure, but conversions, hires, impressions, shares, and we're seeing, a lot of new, individuals come into the organization. So not just rehires or anything like that, more external hires coming in.
Wow, I love it. I'd love to see that talent show. I'm
Oh,
hoping you get it.
it's out there on LinkedIn. You can click the link and it'll take you to YouTube. Phenomenal talent here at
Oh,
Atrium Health.
good. Oh, great. That's got to help retention. That's got to just change the organization to the positive. I love it.
Yeah.
I could go on all afternoon, but I want to be respectful of our viewers' time. You've given them a lot to think about and a lot of great example. If you can make it work in healthcare, I got to believe you can make it work anywhere.
Oh, yes, most
You're in
definitely.
such a tough industry. So thank you so much, Sharita. I really appreciate your time and
You're
good luck with
welcome.
all of it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.